Good morning everyone and welcome to the class. In the previous class we were discussing about India's relationship with Pakistan and we have discussed the whole topic and now we have seen that India was not having good relationship with both the countries China and Pakistan. With China also there was a full-fledged war, and with Pakistan also we find that we were engaged in war for 4 times. Now we will see another aspect of India's foreign policy, and that is India's nuclear policy. So, this India's nuclear policy is, first of all, we must understand the circumstance, the situation when India got independence. After the Second World War, India got independence, and we have seen, we know, we all are aware that in the Second World War there was use of nuclear bomb. It was used by America against Japan, and that was the end of the Second World War. So what we find that this period was a very dangerous period because of use of nuclear weapon. Now it was very clear that the world will be dominated by the countries who have nuclear bomb. India, from the very beginning, the country was supportive of world peace and security, and under the leadership of Nehru, India never wanted to have nuclear weapon, but nuclear energy was very much required for the purpose of rapid industrialization, because nuclear energy is it produces energy at very large scale, and the rate is also very low. So as we all know that we were facing the challenge of economic development. Economic backwardness was the biggest challenge, one of the biggest challenges that country was facing, and we required to develop in very rapid manner, and for that purpose we adopted planned policy and planned economy, and under this planned economy our stress was on industry as well as agriculture, but industry was given more importance during the second 5-year plan. Now, in order to develop the industries, what is required? Power. Without electricity, industries cannot grow. So, Pandit Nehru was very much, he supported the idea of generating nuclear energy, and from the very beginning, you can say that from the end of this 1940s, our nuclear program was started under Dr. Homi Jahangir Bhabha. So from the end of 1940s, there was an effort to generate nuclear energy so that we can use it in rapid industrialization process. And then what we saw that this was the time when other countries were also doing nuclear explosions in order to make nuclear weapon. And in this direction, in the year 1964, the PRC, People's Republic of China, it gone for nuclear explosion for the purpose of making nuclear weapon. By this time, the PRC was not recognized by countries like America. Because of Cold War, America was not ready to give recognition to China as a communist country. The People's Republic of China was not given recognition by America. It was only in 1979 when America gave its recognition to PRC. And the reason was that USSR was such a big country area-wise, and its influence, political, cultural and military influence was very great. And now China has also become communist by this revolution of 1949, and now America was not ready to give recognition to this communist government. America was still giving recognition to Republic of China, the government which was displaced by PRC. That government, which was called the Republic of China, that was the original government in China. In 1949, that government was thrown out of power, and China became communist. China became People's Republic of China. So at that time, what happened, that this Republic of China, which was existing that time, the government fled to Taiwan, and from there they started to claim that they are real China. And America was giving recognition only to ROC, not to PRC. ROC, Republic of China. So this was the situation. And actually PRC was not a member of UNO. Member of UNO was ROC, Republic of China. So it must be clear. ROC was the member of UNO from 1945, when the UNO came into existence, to 1971. It was only in 1971 that People's Republic of China got membership in UN in place of Republic of China. Okay? So in 1964, what happened, that PRC, People's Republic of China, done a nuclear explosion, and the purpose was to have a nuclear weapon. And when this was done by China, then there was this kind of behavior is seen as a threat to international peace and security. India was also a supporter, a staunch supporter of international peace and security. And under the leadership of Nehru, India always supported that nuclear weapons must be ended. There should be elimination of nuclear weapon. But the powerful countries which were already having nuclear weapons, they did not want to eliminate the nuclear weapon completely, but they wanted that their possession of nuclear weapons should become legitimate, and other than them, no one should be able to conduct any kind of nuclear test, and in this way no one other than these 5 countries will be able to have nuclear weapon. Okay, for that purpose what was done, that in 1968 one treaty was came into existence, that was Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. This is NPT, Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. The treaty was for what purpose? For the non-proliferation. The nuclear weapon should not proliferate. जिनके पास है बस उन्हीं के पास रहे, आगे उसका proliferation नहीं होने पाए, आगे वो फैल नहीं पाए. And how any country will be able to, if any country want to develop nuclear weapon, in order to develop nuclear weapon, country will be required to do nuclear test. And now the nuclear test has been banned. From 1968 onwards, it was under this treaty, NPT, it was said that only 5 countries, that is America, USSR, Britain, France and China. At that time it was ROC, Republic of China. Only these countries can have nuclear weapon. Other than these 5 countries, no one can have a nuclear weapon. Though India always supported nuclear elimination of nuclear weapon, still India was not supportive of this treaty NPT because it was discriminatory. It was based on the principle of inequality, because only 5 countries were made legal owner of the nuclear weapons, and other than these 5 countries, no other countries were allowed to have a nuclear weapon. So this was totally discriminatory treaty, and India never supported this treaty. And then what we find, that in the year 1974, in the month of May, in the month of May 1974, the day was Buddha Purnima. On the day of Buddha Purnima in the year 1974, this nuclear test was done in Pokhran, that is in Rajasthan. At that time our Prime Minister was Mrs. Indira Gandhi, and this was also a time of great crisis in the internal politics of India also. And the reason, one of the most important reason, was the price rise of petrol and petroleum products. And this price rise was caused because of Arab-Israel war of 1973. And because of this war, what happened that in international market, the price of oil rose sharply, and subsequently the price of oil also rose very greatly in Indian market also. And this was also the time when actually what happens that whenever there is increase in the price of petroleum and petroleum products, it causes rise in price of all the commodities, and this caused a high rate of inflation in India. And this was the period of political turmoil also. And in the following years, what we find that India was under the emergency rule. So all these things, all these incidents will be discussed in the following chapter. Here we are concerned only with the external relations of India and the nuclear policy which was adopted by India. So the first nuclear test which was done by India, that was done only for the peaceful purpose. And then what we find that again India did its nuclear explosion in the year 1998. In this year, the explosion which was done by India was not for the peaceful purpose. Now the circumstances has changed, and now India has accepted it that this test which was done in 1998 was for developing the nuclear weapon only. So what we find that when India did its nuclear explosion, within 3 months Pakistan also did its nuclear explosion, and now it became very clear to the whole world that India and Pakistan both are possessing nuclear weapons. And this was very crucial because the relationship between the two countries was very bad, and the two countries have up to the year 1998, both the countries were engaged in war for 3 times. So it was a very dangerous development, because in future there was very much possibility of war with Pakistan, because we have already 3 wars. So the whole world was watching these events, and not only watching, but there were some consequences also. India and Pakistan has had to face sanctions by the international community. They put India and Pakistan under economic sanctions, and the reason was that nuclear explosion. Though these sanctions were removed after some time, but this is seen as a threat to the peace and security of South Asia, and that is the reason that when in 1999 there was a confrontation in Kargil between the two countries, it again attracted the focus of the whole world because of this nuclear weapon. So in this way we see that India has conducted its nuclear policy. Now though we have developed our nuclear capabilities, and now what we see that in our country up to the year 1977 there was dominance of Congress at the center. Congress party was enrolled, but after 1977 Janata Sarkar came to power. Then again in 1979 Congress comes to power, and from 1989, from 1979 to 89 there was rule of Congress, but the position of Congress was becoming very weak year by year. And what we find that from year 1989 a new era has started in Indian politics, and that is era of coalition, because no party is able to get the majority of the seats in the Lok Sabha. So this coalition politics started, and many new coalitions started to rule at the center. But what we find that all these different parties, they are having different ideologies. Still there is no sharp changes in the foreign policy of the country. It does not matter which parties are ruling the country. Our foreign policy remains same. We are very much concerned to make our nation integrate. We don't want to lose any territory of the country. We want to protect the international boundaries of our country. Then national interest is the supreme goal. So what is the essence? The essence is that the formulation of foreign policy is not affected by party politics. Party politics has nothing to do with foreign policy. Foreign policy is concerned with the country. It should always be guided by the national interest, not party interest. And this was followed in India. We experienced this in our country, that any political party may come to power, but the basic tenets of foreign policy remains the same. So what we find that the basic tenets of foreign policy remains the same, but there is some change in the alliance. Like what we find that when in 1977 the Janata government came to power, it was the policy, it was announced by the Janata government that up to now India has, in spite of being a non-aligned country, India has inclined towards USSR. But now onwards, under the Janata Party government, we will follow the non-aligned movement in true sense. Means equal distance will be maintained from both the sides. And after this period, what we experienced that there was an effort from the side of Indian government to improve relationship with China as well as America. And we have seen that from 1976 their full-fledged diplomatic relation was developed between India and China. And USA was also given priority, was started to be given priority after this 1977. And after 1991, when this disintegration of USSR took place, we find that there is India lost its friend in USSR, because when USSR was there, India was very powerful because of its close relationship with USSR. But now, after the disintegration of USSR, though Russia was there, Russia was became the was there in the place of USSR. But what we find that it was not, it could not take the place of USSR. It was not a superpower. So now India was in need of a friend. And afterwards, what happened that we changed our economic policy also. In 1991, we have adopted a new economic policy under which we have started liberalization, globalization and privatization. So all these new economic policy was tilted towards capitalist economy, and this this policy change was done under the pressure of World Trade Organization only, and World Trade Organization was working on the willingness of America only. So in this way, because America is in a unipolar world, America is the only superpower, so it is using its power, and now all the countries have opened their economy. And in present scenario, what we find that military equations are not important in international politics. Economy has taken the main role in deciding the relationship between the two countries. So nowadays our stress is only on economy, and if we want to improve our economy, what is required? There is need to improve the relationship with all the countries, because if we are not having good relationship with other countries, then our economy will be suffered. And if we are having economic relationship with other countries, then because of this economic relation, there can be improvement in the political relation also. So this is the new trend. Now economy is the most powerful, most important dimension of international relation, and this is the reason that India has adopted good economic relation with China as well as Pakistan. Though there are problems, so many issues of conflict are there between India and China as well as India and Pakistan, still we find that India is very much interested in maintaining good economic relationship with these two countries. And one more thing is there, that in any economy, in the foreign policy of our country, what is the most important concern? There are two concerns. First is relation with Pakistan, because we have experienced so much with Pakistan, and now in spite of having bad relationship, in spite of being engaged in 4 wars, still there is effort to improve the relationship between these two countries. And the second important thing in the foreign policy of India is the Indo-US relationship. And after 1991, we have our relationship with America has improved a lot. Before that, our relationship was not so good, but after 91, the relationship has improved, and in future there will be more improvement, it seems. So this is all about the chapter, and now we will again come back to our national politics. Whatever was going on in the national politics after the third election, after 1967, whatever was the major events, all these things will be there in the next chapter, and we will discuss this chapter in the next class.